Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Ball Z Part 2 of the Super Warriors event. So this is the Blue Zone or the Supreme Magnificent Battle Gathering of Super Warriors Edition, Dragon Ball Z Part 2. Now this one, honestly, in this video we're going to be taking on the Artificial Life Forms mission, which for the most part requires you to use 6 artificial life forms category characters, but can be pretty challenging. The stage itself actually lends itself to quite a few of the artificial life forms category characters, because a lot of the times you're facing not only hybrid Saiyans and pure Saiyans, but you're also facing Majin Buu Saga category enemies. So either kind of artificial life form direction you pick, you tend to do pretty well, whether it's units like Super Baby, Android 21, and obviously most notably and most popular, the Majin Buu team, which will be the team that we'll be using to take on this event. Now, to somewhat change up the Majin Buu team, I will not be using the Strength Kid Buu, and instead we'll just focus on using some of the older units. The fights are generally broken up into multi-enemy fights. First phase has you face Gohan Team, Goten Kid, and Trunks Kid with Vegeta and Piccolo. All three respectively have 10.5, 10, and 5 million health, and their supers range from 750k to about 950. All of them are immune to attack and defense lowering for the most part. Piccolo is immune to stunning and sealing. Goten, Trunks, and Kid are immune to stunning, and Vegeta is immune to sealing. The enemies in this first phase, and even the second, and even the third, have such little volumes of health that it's actually pretty easy to defeat them. So the first phase goes by pretty quickly. The second phase is against Krillin and Android 18. Similarly here, Krillin and Android 18 will gain a buff, depending on which unit's left. So if Krillin is left, then he'll get a 15% attack and defense buff. If Android 18 is left, she'll get a 15% attack and defense buff when the other unit is knocked out. They both hit for around 900k, and both have about 12 million health. So generally speaking, a step up from the first phase. But because there's only 2 of them, it's actually almost easier, because you can just focus them down or take them out relatively easily together without really having to face the conundrum of their boost from the other unit being taken out. Then we have Hercule. Hercule's the third phase. He can evade you. He can also nullify sealing, but what he really does that's irritating is stunning. So Hercule can stun you pretty easily. He does, however, only have 10 million health, and he doesn't hit very hard, so he's more of a buffer stage that you can just use to reset yourself for the remainder of the fight. Then we move on to the fourth phase, which is against Great Saiyaman and Videl. Great Saiyaman with attack of 30% up after Videl is not present, and Videl, who has a big boost when Great Saiyaman is present. You generally want to take out Videl first. By removing Videl, you will remove her buff, but give a slightly lower buff to Great Saiyaman. Great Saiyaman hits for 1.2 million, Videl hits with her buff for around about give or take 1.1 million. They both have around 20 and 15 million health, so it's not too much of a big deal. Then we move on to Super Saiyan Goten, Trunks, and Gohan. All three are very straightforward, immune to attack and defense lowering, and generally immune to sealing. Goten and Trunks can be stunned, but realistically what you're dealing with here is just an improved version of the initial round. So they just hit harder and they have more health. It's not anything too crazy, and again you should be able to handle it fairly easily. Finally we move on to Goku, who has 1.4 million super, can fire 2 supers a turn, and has around 60 million health. Honestly, the Goku fight is actually incredibly easy, all things considered, because you've had so many phases. Even if they only last 1 turn or 2, you've had so much time to build up your units and put them into the correct positions, that honestly Goku's just not that scary. Even with his greatly lowering defense, he's just not that intimidating. Overall, this one was pretty easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say it was hard. By the metric of the current level of difficulty of content, to have units that only super between 1 and 2 million is pretty low, all things considered. Buhan and the rest of the Boo gang handle this event with very, very good ease. In terms of lead, I did a Into Good Boo, which you could use pretty much any of the leads: Kid Boo, Good Boo, Tech Boo, Physical Boo, other Tech Boo. I mean, you could use whichever you want, really. In fact, pretty much all the Boo units, barring a couple, are almost all viable for this stage. Tech Good Evil Exchange Boo, Tech Buhan, Physical Buhan LR, Physical Buhan, the SBR version, like the lesser Buhan, is also viable. Int Boo, Strength Kid Boo, Strength Boo, like Transforming Super Boo, AGL Super Boo. Pretty much like any Boo unit is pretty much eligible here, barring like the AGL Bookalo and maybe like obviously some of the older like AGL Kid Boo, etc. But honestly, the Boo team is just so good, and although quite limited in options, I think there's enough flexibility in the roster that you should be able to build a fairly decent team with relative ease. I really liked obviously bringing the Strength Fat Boo, Good Boo, whatever you want to call him, because I really like his AoE attack, his critting, and I just felt like it made some of the stages go by really, really quickly, which honestly was almost a relief at certain points. For the most part, this event was very simple, so I completely understand players, being able to get quite flexible with the teams. Artificial life forms is a weird category that's just built pretty strangely, so I do understand you may have difficulties. If you do, leave me a comment and I'll gladly help you and get to it and try to assist. But for now, that's pretty much it. So artificial life forms, done with relative ease, and honestly a very straightforward, very simple fight. So yeah, if you need more help, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. As always, see you guys in the next video. Bye.